Tigers will start things off with one of the best catchers in the country, Julia Crenshaw. She's in the leadoff. 15 doubles for Julia over the course of the year. Tigers at 25-30. So with a losing record, they cannot get into the NCAA tournament. They have to win the whole thing to get the automatic bid from the SEC. Brianna Lopez, the senior from Riverside, California, will get the call and get the ball today for Ole Miss. 10-3 on the year with a 2.66 ERA. Coach Jamie Traxel said she loves to embrace the big moment, and now we're into the postseason with a lot of big moments, Michelle.
Yeah, I love the big moments. Got to have someone who wants the ball in the circle. And Coach Traxel's talked about the fact that we've got to limit the free passes. And this is a coach that has put together a very good young team.
4 straight trips to the NCAA tournament. And on the other side, Larissa Anderson coming off their best season under Coach Anderson. They were a top 8 seed in the NCAA tournament last year. But things didn't go the way they had hoped, playing a very difficult schedule. The idea, she told us, was to get them into contention to host once again this year. But we'll cover the schedule story throughout the day. Didn't pick up the wins they needed, so now all business here today. There's something liberating, Michelle, about playing loose and playing with nothing to lose, and that will be the story today for Mizzou. Crenshaw steps in way back in the box to face Lopez. .362 batting average for the senior. She has exploded this year at the plate. More home runs hit this season than in her first 3 years combined. And when she's behind the plate defensively, she's thrown out more would-be stealers than anybody else in the league.
Yeah, she's just that complete player. Does it on both sides of the plate with the Tigers, and that's obviously why she's in that leadoff position.
In for a strike, and Lopez gets ahead in the count. They use a bunch of arms. They may have to do that this week. The infield shifted already with the first batter. The second baseman Pickens out on the outfield grass in center, and now has to go back closer to her original spot to make the catch. One down. How about a scouting report on Lopez, who transferred in from Hawaii, now in her second season here in the SEC.
Yeah, she's a crafty lefty. She's going to be in the low 60s. She's got that curve to both sides of the plate, so she'll run it toward you, she'll run it away from you. But it's that changeup. It floats in. She uses both those pitches almost equally, about 42 to 48% of the time. I mean, you're looking low and you're looking soft at times.
Gets a swing and miss of Claire Cahalan. Good looking changeup there to Claire. 264 on the season. Was primarily a reserve as a freshman, stepping into the starting lineup this year. There's a chance that both she and her sister Mary Beth, who's at Delaware, could be playing in the NCAA tournament together. And also, of course, her cousin Kenley will be here later in the week with the Florida Gators.
It's a softball family all the way around.
Lopez, second batter in a row. She's getting ahead in the count. Chopped out to shallow right center, and that'll find some grass for a base hit for Claire.
That's a great job by Claire. She identifies that off-speed pitch, is just able to barrel it up enough to put it out on the green, picks up the first hit.
Next up is Madison Walker. 247 on the season, but she is all about the power game. Half of her hits are extra base hits. And she is in hot pursuit with those 18 home runs. Their single season record is 20. fouls that one back. Smitty Lopez is wasting no time, attacking the zone.
Very efficient, going right at it. And that's one thing that pitchers that throw hard and soft a lot will do, because the changeup isn't always best when it's on the corners. It's best when it looks like it's coming really fat right over the middle part of the plate. And
gets the swing and miss.
And then you can elevate like that, even though you don't use a rise ball very often, less than 5% of the time. It just gets hitters to bite at pitches that you take up the ladder. So that's a rise ball. She mostly stays down with the curve, uses that off speed as a really good set, and then gets the right. So 10 pitches so far, 9 of them have been strikes for Lopez.
The throw down from Brady, a little off target, and a stolen base for Cahalan to get into scoring position. Jaden Pone will lead things off. And congratulations to Jaden, your SEC batting champ this year. Best average in league play. Made a late run at it. Terrific month of April that is carried over into May for the senior out of North Carolina.
It's pretty amazing when your overall batting average is a 407, but in league you're a 427. And
usually in the SEC, the other way. Well, I think it speaks to what you mentioned earlier today, Michelle, about the hitters seem to have the upper hand over the pitchers for the most part this year. Obviously, you had some aces, a few 20-game winners in the SEC this year, but it's been a year for really good hitters. Pone being one of them.
Ball.
Well, there's just so much technology, and it's technology so you know what you're facing, but it's also technology to be able to evaluate your swing. Like what am I tacking? Is it a high pitch, a low pitch? Am I going inside out? I mean, there's just so many things that help hitters nowadays.
Ball.
And at some point, the pitchers need to keep up, need to expand the number of pitches they throw, the number of different looks, be able to control them. You know, it's always command of a pitch, controlling the strike zone. Two different things, but make a world of difference.
3-2 from Marissa McCann, and a ground ball back up the middle, and Pone with the leadoff single. McCann's the sophomore from Surprise, Arizona. High school All-American, 10 wins on the season against 11 losses with a 3.77 ERA.
McCann has got a lot of different tools, rise curve, screw, and changeup. Was more of a closer last year, only had 6 starts last year, but he's done a good job this year of starting games, 23 of them. But this is a Missouri team that needs to limit any damage early in the game. So for McCann, they look for her to be in the mid-60s. At times, she'll get a little bit higher than that. It's a multi-level rise ball that she'll throw at different locations, even low at the knees, but she'll try to elevate up above the belt, but it's the changeup. She goes as her changeup goes. That changeup has to be thrown for a strike early and often.
Claire Boutte lifts that out to shallow left, and back on the grass is Updegrove to make the catch. One down. Unable to advance the runner.
Non-productive out, but that is a great job by Updegrove. She went a very long way to make that catch.
That'll bring up Aaliyah Binford, the DP. The transfer from Baylor, a 2-time All-Big 12 selection before arriving at Ole Miss.
Ball.
And in a bit of irony, she was on a Baylor team that picked up a win against Ole Miss last year in the NCAA tournament.
Great two-way player. Ability to pitch, and it opens up the lineup when you can use one of your backup pitchers also as a DP.
Slices that out of play. Ole Miss took 2 of 3 off of Missouri at the end of March. So their 4th meeting of the year. Swing and a miss there from McCann.
It's a nice rise ball. She juices that one up to 68 miles an hour. A little extra something on it to get it past Binford.
Last year, Missouri beat Ole Miss in their first round matchup en route to the SEC championship game for the 2nd time in 3 years.
I think if you look at both these programs over the last 4 to 5 years, scrappy, gritty, I mean, they just play every pitch hard. And this tournament, a tournament like this is made for them. I mean, there's something to play for, something to hoist at the end of it.
It's old school, like back in the day, right? When you played travel ball and you were playing, you know, multiple games over the weekend against different opponents. One of the things that Larissa talked about with this SEC tournament, with a 3-2 pitch coming up, you're not playing the same team in a 3-game series like during the regular year.
100%. I mean, because by the time you're through, halfway through the 2nd game and obviously into the 3rd game, there are no secrets anymore, right?
Yeah.
But at least when you're playing a different opponent every day, there's more to look forward to. There's, you know, you just feel a little, the ability to let different parts of your game come out versus that 3-day grind of a 3-game series.
Ole Miss pretty good in that regular season matchup. They hit 341 off of Tiger pitchers. Had the hit and run on there.
Well, and that's a little bit of the difference between, let's say, like Major League Baseball and a 3-game series in softball. In softball, you're more than likely going to see the same starter. Or as a starter pitcher, you're pitching game 1 and 3. Major League Baseball, you have 5 starters. You're never seeing the same guy when you're playing a series against someone. So the complexity changes, and so that's how this tournament is similar in that different arms.
Drifting towards the dugout and will stay in play. Kara Daly is there. 2 down. Couple of pop-ups after long at-bats. We've got a bus arrival, everybody. Iron Bowl softball version is our final game of this opening day. Auburn and Alabama, and a couple of teams on the host bubble is perhaps a 15 or a 16 seed trying to impress the selection committee later, and also get a very valuable head-to-head win against another team that, you know, when the committee gets together, they may be talking about both of them.
100%. Auburn, when you look at their RPI, I mean, anyone who's playing them, it's a good thing. It's helping their resume.
Remember, your conference finish and your conference record are not pieces of criteria. So you look at Auburn at the bottom of the league, the selection committee doesn't talk about that. That's in for a strike to Percy Yamas. Now, they're human, might be in their brain, might be stored away thinking about it, but
it's one of the best questions you always ask during the selection show. It's like full body of work.
Full body of work. 1-1 to Yamas with a runner aboard. Laces that one to left center. That'll reach the track and hit the wall, and they are waving Pone home, and she'll score. Yamas with the RBI double to put Ole Miss on top.
Well, Yamas, you could just tell what she was hunting. Great ability to let this ball travel and just get it into the opposite field gap. Look at the way she stays back. Great backside rotation, barrels that up. She knows that she's hunting that outside pitch and just takes that into that gap. And then with Pone, with all that speed, 2-out situation, you know she's going to be on her horse and getting on the scoreboard first is Ole Miss.
And now the home run power of Lexi Brady, 2 out with a runner in scoring position. First pitch swinging again. She had a record 6 RBI in one of their games against Georgia. A 20-11 win here in this house. in April. Falls behind 0-2.
Well, that is one thing about this field is the wind typically will blow out. It is a hitter's park for sure. Gonna probably see a lot of fireworks this week.
This is a good home run hitter's park. And a call. Strike 3. Change up, dropped right in, and Buckles Brady. A runner stranded at second, but one home for the early Ole Miss lead.
How about the freshman getting the ball? Strikeout on the outer half, changeup. Great job to get out of the jam.
This is a do-or-die situation for them, for their postseason to continue and their season to continue at all. She knows that day one, they have to get a win here. They are typically much better when they score first against opponents. Well, that hasn't happened. So now backs against the wall, they have got to come out swinging. But what she wants is a fearless group, taking risks and not worrying about their season ending, playing free.
Yeah, they will have to rally from behind here. The early deficit. Thank you, Holly. Top of the second. 6, 7, and 8 coming up. They had a runner in scoring position to grab that lead in the first, could not get it in. And here's Kara Daly out of Jeff City.
And I love that in the first inning, a situation where she got her runner into scoring position by stealing a base, and a lot of times you won't always see that happen. You let the hitters hit, but knowing got to pick up that extra 60 feet, be aggressive.
Slow roller to Lansdale, charges, and Daly is going to be able to leg that out. And the leadoff aboard for the Tigers.
Really slow developing play gives Daly the opportunity to get down the line, and she sees it immediately off of the bat. Good job by Ashton to come up and try to make that hard throw. The only opportunity she has here is she's got to scoop this up and throw on the run. She does, but Daly just able to get down the line, picks up a leadoff hit.
Well, their MO all year has been manufacturing runs.
Ball.
So in this type of situation, dropping the sacrifice, moving somebody over. Maybe it's a sac fly that can get a run in. They had the worst batting average, on-base percentage, and were the worst scoring team in the league this year. So it's piece and hits together.
Yep.
Here's Stefania Abruscato, the sophomore from New York.
Ball.
Cannot drop that one down. 1-2.
And ironically, too, Beth, you know, they slug okay. I mean, they've got 71 home runs on the year. They've got 71 doubles. It's just been getting on base. As you mentioned, that 257 batting average, an on-base percentage that is sub 400. Usually 400 is that benchmark. That's what you shoot for.
Ball.
The other issue has been the strikeouts. They have hit the 300 mark for the season. Only Auburn has more in SEC play. Putting that ball in play, putting some pressure on the defense, and boy, are we seeing some good changeups today.
Great changeups. When I write up scouting reports and I talk about changeup and how effective it is and it needs to be used early and often, you know that as a hitter you got to be able to sit back, and this is a great changeup by Lopez. It's got a little bit of rotation on it. It's sliding to the outer half of the corner. That lefty-lefty matchup, so difficult.
Second strikeout of the day. She gets Abruscato, and here's Madison up to Grove. First pitch swinging. Out to Pone and left. So the Tigers have already picked up, Smitty, on the fact that Lopez is throwing nothing but strikes pretty much so far today.
Yeah, he's hammering the zone. You know, that reaps a lot of benefits, obviously, for yourself in the circle, but also for your defense.
Yeah, especially on a hot and sticky day today in Athens. Get on the field, get off.
Ball.
2 down for Abby Wilhelm in the 8th spot in the order. freshman out of Lee's Summit, Missouri. Mom Carly was a college softball player.
Ball.
Lopez just missed away. Winner of this one, by the way, moves on to face Florida tomorrow. The Gators, the 6th seed. And the defending champs. That'd be a rematch of last year's final if it's Missouri.
Yeah, you look at this Missouri team, and mentioned earlier how important, obviously, they've got to really run right through this tournament, make the postseason. I think they were one pitch away from making the Women's College World Series. They were close to winning this tournament last year.
Ball.
Returned 6 starters from that Supers team.
They lost their best pitcher. They lost their top 3 hitters, but the rest were back. They, Larissa Anderson telling us we got to rely a lot on our upperclassmen today. And a swing and a miss for Lopez. 3 strikeouts now, the first time through the order. And a 1-0 Ole Miss lead.
How about Lopez just really controlling the zone, really mixing her speeds? The changeup has been outstanding. The rise ball as well. 3rd strikeout of the game for Lopez.
14 of the 15 pretty much have already punched a ticket. The outsider right now is Missouri, but they still have a chance to win this SEC championship and get the automatic bid, and then everybody goes to the party as Alabama and Auburn try and find some shade here before their game coming up next.
Ball.
They did not play in the regular season. We need to talk to the SEC schedulers about that. That should be always every year.
Must have.
But they will meet now in the SEC tournament. 1-0 lead for Ole Miss. 6, 7, 8 coming up. Here's Mackenzie Pickens. Freshman from Flowery Branch, Georgia. 16 newcomers on this roster. 8 freshmen, 8 transfers.
Really a whole new team, a couple of new coaches.
Yeah, Aaron Earlywine, Nancy Evans, Bobby Buchanan. Pickens lifts that out to center. The catch is made by Langer as we send it down to Holly Rowe.
Speaking of new coaches, there's a little intrigue today. Missouri was coached by Aaron Earlywine for a long time. He took them to several World Series before Larissa Anderson got there. Well, he is now an assistant coach with Ole Miss, and there he is in the 3rd base box where he is intently looking at the hand of the pitcher, trying to pick pitches. This is a specialty of his. He is so good at this because of his background in fast pitch men's softball, where he was a world champion. And look at the intent right here. Coach Larissa Anderson said she was very mindful of this today, knowing how good he is at picking pitches and grips. So she's asked Marissa McCann to get deeper in her glove, be very mindful of not showing the grip and giving away a pitch today. Just a little fun cat and mouse game for you to keep your eyes on, Tiger fans.
Of course, Earlywine 3 trips to the World Series during his days at Missouri, and that one's lifted out to left and a base hit for Ashton Lansdell, and a 1-out base runner. 3rd hit of the ball game for the Rebels.
Well, Lansdale's just going to go down and attack a pitch. It's a backdoor curveball that stays a little bit up, stays on the plate. Love the way she just drops that barrel, gets it out onto the green. Ole Miss team, a .310 batting average. They do a good job of getting on base, a .403 on base percentage.
Yeah, Jamie Traxel talked about how that was one of the things with bringing in this new group. We needed to score more. We needed to hit better and score more runs. Picked up a huge win in the regular season, beating #1 ranked Tennessee in April, their first win over a #1 team since they won the SEC tournament in 2017 and beat Florida. The Gators at that time were ranked #1. That's one of the reasons why with their resume, they're still in the conversation to maybe be one of those lower seeds, 15, 16, and stay at home for the first weekend of the NCAA tournament. We talk about the significance of hosting. It's about 75% of the time you win a regional or a super regional when you are playing at home. And there you see the season for Missouri. How about playing 9 games against #1, which they had to do. They were 2-7 against Texas OU and A&M. Actually, the A&M win was a run rule win. That's a tall task for anybody.
I was going to say that was impressive. At a point in the season when they really needed it. But, 3 weekends in a row, they played the #1 team in the country. So this is a Missouri team that, as we mentioned earlier, well-seasoned, great non-conference strength of schedule. This is an Ole Miss offense as well that, as you mentioned earlier, very prideful, knew that they needed more offense this year. And you know, they'll say it, hey, we don't have a ton of home run power, 50 home runs on the year. It's doubles. They have 74 doubles, and they walk, they get on base.
Hot shot to third, Daly to second for 1, over to first, and the Tigers pick up the double play. Daly to Wilhelm to Walker to end that threat.
The way Paradilli's going to pick this up. No hesitation whatsoever. Over to Wilhelm and to first to Walker. That double play helps out. They get out of the jam, and the pitchers loving it. They're picking up the bats.
Little double bye. Of course, Oklahoma and Texas joining the league. So 15 of the schools. That's a rocket. And foul. Headed towards that gorgeous Georgia workout facility and clubhouse. Nine, and then the top of the order. There's Kaylee Langer. Tigers have had a base runner in each of the first 2 innings. Unable to stitch anything together.
Ball.
Lopez has been on point. 27 pitches, 20 of them strikeouts. 6 of the first 8 batters. Now 9 batters have seen a first pitch strike. And she's just picked up her 4th strikeout, the last 3 on that off speed.
Yeah, that changeup has just been amazing, the way that she flips that out. So she hides it behind her body a little bit, and that tight rotation, and that's really what fools the eye of the hitter. That tight rotation makes it look like it's coming in at 64 instead of 54. And as a hitter, it's just so easy to expand the zone and chase that out. Really good job with the chase rate on that pitch.
So not much doing. First time through the order for Mizzou. Here comes Julia Crenshaw back at the top. Batting average 150 points higher this year than last year. She's changed her swing. She recognizes what pitches she needs to swing at and which ones to lay off of, according to Larissa Anderson. And she is the, and I quote, spark that lights their fire.
Well, I love the fact that, you know, worked on her hitting as more upright and now understands that it's pitches up in the zone. You know, she used to think I need to go down and get the ball, but now she's looking for pitches that fit her profile. Coach called it your hitting profile.
Yes. All the different language now that the analytics brings into the game. Slow roller foul. What's the challenge here for these hitters, Michelle, when they see that the changeup is so lethal so far?
Well, it's her highest chase rate at 29%.
Yep.
She's throwing it over 40%. You got to sit it. At some point, you got to expect it and then react hard. because then you're not fooled by it. And I'll tell you, I was not a good changeup hitter unless I sat on it, because I wanted to mash the ball, right? So then I was always out in front of the changeup. So then I had to reverse my thinking and think, all right, I'm going to sit change, and then if something's coming at me 60, 70 miles an hour, boom, I'm just reacting hard.
Another 1-2 pitch.
Ball.
Try to get her to chase away. Former high school player of the year in state, enjoying her best season.
Ball.
You know, we talk a lot about scouting pitchers, scouting reports on the pitcher, but as a hitter, you have to scout yourself. Like, you almost have to say to yourself, how would I pitch myself to get myself out, and how you're being attacked? Those are the things you have to work on. And I love that Missouri did that this year. I love that Crenshaw did this. Doesn't matter if she's a senior.
And right on cue, a base hit for Julia as we send it down to Holly Rowe.
Well, I have some very important breaking news. Claire Cahalan, who's stepping into the batter's box right now for Missouri. Beth, you mentioned her older sister, Mary Beth, is playing for Delaware. And moments ago, she was named the CAA Defensive Player of the Year and first team All-CAA. Her mom in the stands told me that. They are very excited. They've got 3 kids in the same family, all playing Division I softball. If Missouri were to win today, she would play her cousin, Kenley, with Florida later in this tournament. So very fun moment for Claire. She doesn't even know it yet. I might tell her, go down there and whisper it to her. Hey, your sister's the Defensive Player of the Year.
Awesome. Yeah, she'd run into Claire next round tomorrow. Florida awaits the winner of this one. And of course, for Mary Beth, Delaware would have to win their tournament this week to grab the automatic bid to advance to the NCAAs, which they were the regular season champs.
Man, can you imagine those Cahalan family reunions?
Oh my gosh.
I bet they're competitive. Game of wiffle ball turns into love it.
Well, that's what we're seeing now. It's everybody in the family. It's mothers and daughters. It's grandmothers now and daughters and granddaughters. This is the 43rd year of the Women's College World Series.
Incredible.
A lot of women playing some really good ball before that, like Michelle Smith. Oh, no, wait, you weren't quite that old. You played against some of them that did.
Yes, I did.
In your younger days.
Trust me. You taught me a thing or two.
Swing and a miss. The throw down in plenty of time to nail the runner. And Crenshaw's out at second. Needed contact on that from Cahalan, and looked like pretty much a pitch out.
Yeah, it looks like may have been a busted hit and run or a run and hit where Crenshaw was given the green light to go. Only 7 stolen bases on the year. Lexi Brady is really good behind the dish. But again, this is a Missouri team that needs to get runners into scoring position to try to score them. So I think you're going to see them aggressive today, trying to pick up that extra 60 feet.
Well, what Holly reported earlier in the game, what are you willing to risk?
Yep, 100%.
To keep your season alive? 8 batters thrown out now on the season by Brady. Infield pop. Side retired. Ole Miss, 1 up. Opening day of the SECs. The 2 seed after that second place finish in the regular season. Mississippi State will jump into the fray tomorrow against LSU in the 8-9 matchup. The first game of the day. We're on the air at 11 a.m. Eastern. 9 and in the top for Ole Miss. Their 1 run back in the first. The RBI double from Percy Yamas scoring Jaden Pone. Pone is on deck at the top of the order. Slap foul by Malvin. Junior from Johns Creek, Georgia.
2 strikes, 0-2.
swing and a miss. Strikeout number 2 for McCann. 1 down.
McCann picking up another strikeout, and you can see this pitch is going to be over the top rotation, a little bit elevated, and actually misses to the inner half. You can see the way that Crenshaw is going to have to come back across and make that catch, but still able to get Malvin to swing through it, wave through it. So 2 strikeouts first time through the order for McCann.
Well, back to the SEC's batting champ. Pone singled her first time up. Pone spent a lot of time this fall hitting away. She had been primarily a slapper before that, but working with the new coaching staff, hitting away more, it's made a big difference as she grounds out there, 2 down.
I think that's one of the things you can never stop learning and adjusting and completing your game, because a lot of people will scout you based on what you did last year. If you show up with a new look, it just makes it that much harder to be attacked, to be put out.
Here's Lara Boutte. Started her career at Tennessee, a couple of years there, then a stop at Houston, where she set a new Houston run-scoring record. And now here at Ole Miss, and a rocket to first. And a 1-2-3 inning for Marissa McCann and Missouri.
How about Marissa McCann getting it done in the circle, giving her Tigers an opportunity to pick up the bats. Line drive over to Walker. 7 pitches, all strikes in the inning for McCann. Effective for the crafty lefty Lopez.
And so efficient so far today. The 4 strikeouts the first time through the batting order. And now 3, 4, 5 coming up. 72% of her pitches have been strikes through the first 3 innings, and she's only needed, that was just her 46th of the day.
Yeah, and it's so much easier to play defense behind a very efficient pitcher that's attacking the zone. Typically, we say about 66% strikes, 33%-ish or so balls, right? So you want to be in that 2/3, 1/3 ratio. She's above that, and because of that, you can just see she's rolling. Just doing an outstanding job.
Strike zone's been very consistent today. Allows the pitcher to get into a rhythm and a routine.
Well, you know,
and we like it because it makes the hitters start swinging and not looking for walks.
Yeah, and for the athletes, as a pitcher, you know where you need to go to pick up a strike when you're behind. As a hitter, you know what you need to protect on.
I was just about to say, this is going to be your jinx, not mine, Michelle. 3-1 count.
Well, I think every pitch should be a strike, but you know.
Lopez will try and fight back. Yeah, not the case. Walker fittingly walks. Here's Holly Rowe.
Well, Brianna Lopez has been terrific today with her changeup. You guys have talked about it a lot, that floating changeup. Well, they hired one of the best changeup coaches in the country. Nancy Evans is a new assistant coach with Ole Miss, working with their pitchers. And if you'll remember, she was the coach for Taryn Mowat when she won the World Series, throwing over 1,100 pitches in 1 week. And her changeup was her specialty. So every time you say the changeup looks good, I'm like, ladies, Nancy Evans. That's why.
Nancy, a national champion at Arizona, a longtime assistant coach there. Nancy, by the way, threw in the late 90s and still has the best winning percentage of any pitcher in NCAA history.
Oh, and by the way, when she wasn't pitching, she was outstanding shortstop.
Yes.
And she raked. Boom.
Another opportunity and another base runner for Missouri with the leadoff walk. Here's Taylor Ebbs with Danielle Blackston pinch running. Ebbs thought about the bunt, but won't need to, as that squirted by Brady, and now a runner in scoring position. Second time today for Ole Miss. Lopez was able to work out of it with a couple of outs back in the first inning. Brady, boy, again, struggling with the changeup, had to check the swing, does move the runner over to third. So that's just as good as a sack.
Yeah, 100%. That is a productive out for Ebbs, hitting that right side. Always want to try to go right side, but runner on second base, move him up at worst if you're out. Opportunity now for Missouri to try to knot up this game.
And this is who you want at the plate. Experience. In Kara Daly, the senior, over 230 games at Missouri. Her dream to play for the Tigers, one of the first recruits for Larissa Anderson.
Lopez goes with the first pitch. Changeup, she gets Daly to chase it, foul it off. She goes right back to that same spot, a little bit lower, a little bit slower. Daly, good job on the take.
Ball.
Missed it away, 2-1. Kara Daly trying to tie this one up. Long ball for the lead. She's got 10 on the season. .300 hitter with runners in scoring position this year. And again, in there at 50 miles an hour for a strike.
Being a lefty, she has a tendency to come from behind her back. And when you hide that pitch from behind your back, it just kind of pops out. It's hard to read the spin. It's tight.
Gets the swing and miss out of the zone. 2 down. Strikeout number 5, and that's a doozy.
5th strikeout today, again expanding the zone. This pitch on the outer half, it's in the river, and you can see that Daly is just way, not only out in front of that pitch, but expanding that strike zone themselves. So Missouri really needs to try to get Lopez to throw that pitch, throw those pitches back through the white part of the plate, not chase.
So after the walk, 2 outs, and here's Abbruscato. Struck out on the changeup in the second. Back out to center, and on the move is Malvin. They leave a runner stranded at third. 1-0 Ole Miss, and the Rebels head coach Jamie Traxel with Holly when we come back. All right, thank you very much, Holly. On the season, Missouri with 7 comeback wins. That's the fewest in the league, but Ole Miss with 10 blown leads. 4th most in the SEC. Single elimination format for this SEC tournament, win or go home. And for the Missouri Tigers, they need to win 5 games in the next 5 days to go to the NCAA tournament. So a lot at stake for them. Ole Miss, they're going to the NCAA tournament. The question remains as to whether they will hit the road or stay home for the regionals. So a deep run this week would go a long way with the selection committee, which we have the selection show, 2 hours of coverage for you on Sunday night. Can't believe we're almost into the NCAA tournament. It's already mayhem, 6 days into the mayhem.
That's right. I feel like mayhem started in February this year.
Swing and a miss, Aaliyah Binford for 3, 4, and 5 coming up. Well, we've had 4 different teams ranked number 1 this year. All from the SEC. And what are they're the top 6 teams in the poll this week. And a strikeout there for McCann. That's her 3rd one down.
Well, McCann has just been outstanding at really working all parts of the zone, and so she's able to set up on the outer half, gets the swing through. She's going to go right back there and get Binford to swing through. Look at the rotation on this ball. Bleeds back into the zone a little bit more, but really good velocity on that pitch. Great job by McCann getting that first batter of the inning out. Oh, so important. Third strikeout of the game.
Out to center and diving down in front of the glove of Langer. And Percy Yamas is 2 for 2 today.
Good job trying to come in here. Kaylee just off the heel of the glove. It pops out, but that is all about getting efficiently to the ball, keeping it in front of her, and that's the key. A good dive on that, keeping it in front of her. She doesn't want to get behind her or get to the wall. Would be extra bases, but reading that correctly, the slope of the ball coming down, able to make the dive, doesn't make the catch, but keeps it in front.
That looked like her glove was next to the ball, like it needed to be a little bit to the right. Instead, it's Yamas with a couple of hits.
Oh, her head was elevated a little bit too.
High fly ball. Langer will get another chance at this one. 2 down. The pitcher's duel continues. Here's Mackenzie Pickens. Flew out to center her first time out.
Ball.
Flies ball over the bat of Pickens. 1-1. Terrific job by McCann. Just one hitter in scoring position so far today, but that got a run in back in the first, the only one of the day. It's that kind of day. Everybody's sitting in the shade here at the Jack. Waits on the off speed, and a long throw offline. And Pickens safe at first, strain the pinch runner over to second.
Yeah, Pickens with a lot of speed. I think Updegrove, no opportunity to get her over at first. I'd almost fake throw to first and see if you can't get the runner possibly rounding at second base, because there was no way you're going to get Pickens over there. This is just a slow developing play. The throw offline because she's rushing it. I'd fake there and I'd go back to second.
That was the freshman Madison Updegrove, the shortstop. Hey, Friday, it's number 7 Arkansas and number 3 LSU starting a big 3-game baseball series. Game 1 coverage starts at 7:30 Eastern on SEC Network Plus and shifts to the SEC Network for Saturday's game, which begins at 6:30 Eastern. And then it's Sunday's series finale at 4 o'clock. Big Top 10 showdown, SEC baseball. Their season traditionally a couple of weeks behind softball, so they're starting to head towards the end of the regular season. We are into the postseason. Day 1 of the SEC tournament. Georgia already a winner over Kentucky to advance. This is our second game of the day. Still to come, Alabama and Auburn. As Ole Miss tries to pad its lead, Ashton Lansdale singled back in the second. Georgia native from Marietta and a former college baseball player out of our baseball promo. Ground ball to Kara Daly. She'll gobble that up and end the threat. Still 1-0 as we head to the fifth. Oklahoma against the top 10.
Most of those occurring in conference play. The only thing that maybe dings OU a little bit is their non-conference SOS, which is
Same with Texas.
Yeah, 183. Texas is like in the 130s, I believe. So it'll be interesting to see how much they look into that aspect of their record.
Yeah, because you look at, Florida. They have series wins over Oklahoma and Texas A&M. Tennessee has wins, a couple against Oklahoma, a couple against Texas. They beat A&M in one of the games in their series. So everybody brings something to the table.
Ball.
The committee talks about obviously your record, your strength of schedule, how you do head-to-head. Road wins and home losses can be a big deal. The results against common opponents, which could be huge when you look at all the SEC schools.
Ball.
Yeah, a lot to consider. Absolutely.
They do try and avoid regional rematches from the previous year. And of course, also in women's softball, geography still does matter for the unseeded teams. You tend to get sent close to home. So it's a bus ride and not a flight. And it's strikeout number 6 for Lopez, facing the bottom of the order here in the top of the fifth.
Lopez just continues to expand the zone, and this one with the hard stuff, this is a backdoor curveball. It's got a little bit of up on it, bends back into the zone, so it's 65 miles an hour. It's a good looking pitch. 6th strikeout of the game.
Of 6 different batters, by the way. Here's Abby Wilhelm, strikeout victim in the 2nd. There's that change in for a strike on the outside part of the plate. Second time through the batting order, headed towards the 3rd. The coaches have seen a lot of this change-up. You got to keep adapting and adjusting in the circle, right? Just as much as the hitters.
Absolutely. It is definitely a game of chess where you've got to be able to attack hitters in multiple different ways as you go through that lineup 2nd and 3rd time.
Ball.
Try to get her to chase there. 2-2. Talked about Lopez loving the big moment. She has embraced it so far. Knocks that one down with her glove. Scooped up by Lansdale to get the out at first.
Yeah, how about Lansdale just being in the right spot at the right time. This ball hit hard right back at Lopez. She gloves it up enough for Lansdale to come over, pick it up, and efficiently get it over to first base. You can see off the glove, a little bit of protecting yourself. When you're a pitcher in that circle, you always got to make sure that glove is mid-body to protect yourself. She does just that. Good job by Lopez. That's a 1-5-3 out.
Giving her the assist on that.
Yeah.
There's a wicked change. What I loved about Lopez is, Jamie Traxel describing how calm she is. Look, I mean, hardly even just, whoop.
Yep.
There you go, almost passing it off.
Redirection.
She said, think of that lake that you can skip a stone on that is so flat and so smooth and so calm. That's Lopez, a 10 skipper. She said, that's a 10 skipper with a flat rock.
And she did say, not a 5 skipper, a 10 skipper. For a sophomore, that's impressive.
Yes, loves her poise. Up 0-2 here.
Ball.
We tried to get her again with the off speed. Here's Kaylee Langer.
Ball.
It's just a steady diet of off speed right now. Wanted to pop it up. Marvin. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Lopez.
Brianna Lopez just dealing calm, cool, collected. The crafty lefty has been spinning the ball through the zone. Her changeup has been knee buckling. 6 strikeouts in the game.
5 days to win the championship. That has never happened, of course, with the expanded tournament. It's the first time with 15 teams here. It has happened once, 4 games in 4 days, and that was the Ole Miss team that did it in 2017, led by Caitlin Lee. They were a 7 seed, the highest seed to win this championship. And here's a pop-up in foul territory, and De Leon is retired, 1 down. Caitlin Lee threw 28 innings, Smitty, 440 pitches in 4 days, and gave up just 3 earned runs. They went from being on the NCAA bubble to hosting a regional as a top 16 seed in 4 days.
Yeah, that was an outstanding run, outstanding postseason. And, well, it really shows the amount of weight that the committee gives to a team that runs this tournament.
Now to left and quickly 2 outs as McCann is now just piping the strikes. What is that? Is that came into the inning, 23 of her last 25 pitches were strikes.
Yeah, just outstanding. And
getting outs.
getting outs, that's the key. So take a look at those 44 strikes out of her 56 pitches.
Back to the top of the order. So the 3rd time now for the leadoff, Jaden Cone. 1 for 2, singled and scored the game's only run back in the 1st. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be quick work for McCann. A 1-2-3 inning. Only 6 outs left for Missouri to try and extend their season.
Great ability to full hitters with spot speeds, 4 changeups, a rise ball, and 1 curveball. The strikeout pitches that Lopez has used today.
So Ole Miss 6 outs away from advancing. The winner of this game has Florida tomorrow. And for Missouri, the urgency has to kick in now. Back to the top of the order. Julia Crenshaw, the Missouri kid, a former high school player of the year in the state, has grown into their leader. As Larissa Anderson said, the match, the spark that lights the fire, they need to do it right here to keep their season alive. They do not have enough wins to get into the NCAA tournament. 1 down, and a big get for Lopez.
That was a huge get. 3rd time through the lineup. Really good defensive play by Ashton Lansdale there at 3rd.
Lopez spinning the 3-hit shutout so far. It's Claire Cahalan. She has one of those hits back in the 1st. Ground ball to short. 2 down.
Left side of the infield has been very strong for Lopez, especially when you know those lefty hitters are looking to put that ball down to that left side and try to wheel it out.
Madison Walker is due up here.
I wonder if they're going to challenge this.
The ruling on the field is that the fielder was on the bag for the out at first base. That has been challenged by Missouri and is now under review.
All right, so the first of their 2 challenges, and this will go back to Birmingham, SEC headquarters, to take a closer look. There would need to be video evidence to prove otherwise, that the runner was safe. Otherwise, it's the call on the field out at first. That angle shows the foot still on the base.
Ball moves around in the glove a little bit. But yeah, I think she's out. I don't think there's enough to overturn this.
This one may be the one that'll show whether she stayed. It certainly appears that she did.
Ooh, actually,
There's some
the foot
movement.
rotated.
There's some movement.
Yeah.
Again, they need proof that it came off to change the call. There they are, back of the video center.
Yeah, that last look, the question is if the foot actually rotated and separated.
After the call on the field has been upheld.
Call stands, 1 down, or 2 down.
It's a good challenge late in the game.
Yep. They'll have 1 left, and the umpires can call their own reviews now that we're into the later innings. Here's Madison Walker, the number 3 hitter. First pitch swinging and a pop-up, and quick work in the 6th for Lopez.
The 2025
Season.
Outstanding.
Could be the national leader in a couple of categories for Arkansas.
Average power, RBIs, you name it.
We are into the bottom of the 6th inning, 1-0 Ole Miss over Missouri, and the Tigers will go to their closer, Taylor Pennell, out of Lee's Summit. Good outing from Marissa McCann. The only damage, a run across in the 1st inning, and that's been it for either side.
Yeah, she was outstanding. McCann just really limiting damage, worked around a couple hits, but you're right, Beth, it was just that 1st inning. Probably a little bit of nerves. One pitch got a little bit too close and ended up plating a run.
Percy Yamas drove in that run, and she is due up this inning, so probably didn't want her to see the middle of that order a 3rd time. And also Pennell, terrific out of the bullpen. They cannot allow another run in here. They need to score one of their own in the 7th, or their season will come to an end. As of right now, they would be the only SEC team of the 15 not to get an invitation to the NCAA tournament. Butte, Binford, and Yamas due up. On the dirt, 1 down. Holly?
Well, I was watching this incredible series on SEC Network called SEC Insider, and you got to hear Larissa Anderson, all the different head coaches actually coaching and teaching. And Pennell was listening to her coach, Larissa Anderson, explain that if you want to be a great pitcher, you have to have 3 things: location, movement, and change of speed. If you only have 1 or 2, you'll be a good pitcher, but you won't be great. And that's something she's been working on all season.
Yeah, she's been one of the first that we've seen around the country that was a true closer out of the pen the last couple of seasons. Now we're seeing more and more teams have bullpens, not just starters that go throw complete games anymore. A lost start. Induces another ground ball. 2 down. So here comes Percy Yamas, and it's our reliable connection brought to you by T-Mobile 5G home internet. That hit she had in the 1st inning that has driven in the only run today.
How about the freshman swinging it like she's a senior? That big double early in that 1st inning plates the only run of the game so far. She's been outstanding for this Ole Miss team, hitting in the 4-hole, protecting Binford.
Out of Eastvale, California. Announced her presence with authority. Her first at-bat, she hit a home run. And today she is 2 for 2. The rest of the team just 3 for 19. Will it be enough to hold up? Missouri in the bottom of the 7th to save their season will bring up their 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Could be another 1, 2, 3, and it is. So here we go. Last chance for the Tigers. Down a run to the 7th. So far today, Lopez has been the king, or the queen. Only shutout in SEC tournament for the Rebels was Caitlin Lee en route to the SEC tournament championship against Florida. And Lopez right now shutting out Missouri on just 3 hits. She has struck out 6. Back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings, and now 3 outs away from advancing to the second round and a date with Florida as the Tigers try and save their season. 4, 5, 6 due up. It's Ebbs, Daly, and Abrascato.
How about her pitch count? 80 pitches on the afternoon, just the efficiency. And just gutsy, too. I love the way that she's not afraid to throw that changeup multiple times. Her ratio of strikes to balls, outstanding. And we talked earlier about Nancy Evans, her pitching coach, her speed, her spins, her spots, all of them on point in this game.
2 of the seniors to start things off for Missouri. Such a tough schedule. They really thought they would be contending possibly for a top 8 seed. Big wins this year. They beat Oklahoma, they beat A&M, they beat Duke and Clemson, but lost some games that they didn't think they would. Minnesota, Notre Dame got swept by Alabama and Kentucky, and that has put them in a bit of a spot. They don't have the wins necessary to get to the NCAA tournament. They must win the automatic bid to stay alive. The fly ball out the center puts them 2 outs away with Cara Daly coming up, Holly.
Well, Cara Daly has meant everything to Missouri softball over the last 4 years. She's a kid from Jefferson City, Missouri. She's always wanted to come to Mizzou. She has been in the lineup since the very first day she stepped on campus, and she's had to move to shortstop at times this season. She's had to do whatever the coach asked her, but she has always been willing, the ultimate team player. And how about this cute picture? When you're about 10 and you know where you want to go, she and her mom, that's pretty precious, and we have appreciated watching this young lady throughout her career at Missouri.
Yeah, Kristen, also a college softball player. She's top 10 all-time, Cara Daly is, in home runs and runs batted in, and boy, could Mizzou use one of those right now. As Lopez continues to dazzle with the off-speed pitch. Cara with one of their hits today. Again with the chase.
Yeah, the chase with the changeup outside of the zone. I'm actually surprised they're just not sitting on that pitch and saying, I'm waiting for that to come over the zone to attack it, to swing through it. Right now, they're swinging through it even when it's out of the zone.
Talking with Jeff Cottrell, Bella Norton, Mary Half, the other members of their staff. One and 2 to Daly. Ball. 2 and 2. Ball. 4 count.
Good take on the outer half, trying to use that backdoor curveball to bring it to the back half of the plate. Daly doesn't bite.
In the dirt, and Daly draws the walk. Tying run aboard. Go ahead to the plate with 1 out here in the top of the 7th.
Now batting in Martin number 7, Stefania Abrascato.
A strikeout and a line out for Stefania. Ball. one of the New Yorkers on this Missouri roster from Larissa Anderson's days at Hofstra. Was on Long Island before she came out to Como. Conversation now in the circle as Lopez tries to secure her 5th complete game of the season, which includes a win over Florida. Gators are on deck. They will begin their title defense tomorrow night, 5 o'clock on SEC Network against the winner of this one.
Nancy Evans, I'm sure she's just giving her a little cheer. It's all right. This is the first inning she's been backwards, more balls than strikes. Mizzou's starting to be a little bit choosier.
So great, too, to see all these former players getting into the coaching game.
Sharing that knowledge, giving back, teaching.
So still hope for Missouri. Out to left. And caught by Pone. 2 down. Cannot advance the runner. Madison Updegrove is the scheduled batter, but Tigers are going to go to the bench here with Maya Dodge, one of the seniors. They will put it in her hands.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Now hitting for the Missouri Tigers, number 12, Maya Dodge.
Said they needed the experience to push them through to the next day. Got a senior on first and another one at the plate. Ball. Brady tried to frame that one, 1-1.
Again, going back to the hard, in the lower half outside with that backdoor curveball.
Ball. This is high.
This is tough for Dodge to come in off the bench. Hasn't seen a pitch all game.
In the dirt. 3-1.
Yeah, good job not chasing pitches out of the zone. That's really been the story for Mizzou. They've chased a lot of pitches out of the zone, and Dodge has been pretty steady, making sure something's going to show up before she swings at it.
Ball 4, and the tying run in scoring position. Second walk of the inning from Lopez.
We talked about it earlier, the 10 blown leads, 4th most in the SEC by Ole Miss, giving up leads late in games. And when there's just one run up on the board, how many one-run games have you seen this year? 1-0 run games.
Not many,
no,
if any.
If any. This is old school softball. You got to go back 20 years to get these scores.
Can the bottom of the order come through? They're going to lift Daly for a pinch runner. Kara can re-enter if they tie it or take the lead. Addie Kohler. They need her to touch home safely to keep their season alive. Here in the top of the 7th with 2 outs, it's Abby Wilhelm. And now they pass the bat to a freshman. Abby has 2 hits this season.
struck the ball well. Her last at bat went back off of Lopez's glove. Was ultimately thrown out.
And now down to their final strike. In for a called strike 3. Fittingly for Brie Lopez, she ends it with a changeup and strikeout number 7. And that'll end the season for the Missouri Tigers. Ole Miss moving on, and a date with the 6th seed Florida tomorrow night.
Just a gutsy effort by Brianna Lopez, outstanding in the circle. The senior just really controlling the game. All of her pitches working. Curveball on both sides, but that changeup knee buckling.
Had the tying run in scoring position, and Lopez said, not on my watch.
Steady Eddie, calm, cool, collected, and just putting that changeup in all parts of the zone, controlling it, really